This is Star Wars Outlaws. We're doing a comparison. On the left, we have PlayStation 5 Pro. On the right, we have the Nintendo Switch 2. These videos are a ton of work to put together, so be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So we're going to be diving in and showing off some different scenes, action scenes, standing scenes, give you a little bit of an idea of how the game is looking on the high-end console and on a console that's sort of meant for being out on the go. It's actually really impressive either way you look at it, and it's a really interesting comparison because you actually get to see the full scope of the experience basically transferred between both versions of the game. Now I am using the same save from the same time across the cloud, so it should be relatively the same for time of day, the atmosphere, the amount of NPCs that should be, moving around. Of course, it is an open world game. There's going to be variables, there's going to be changes, there's going to be things on top of whatever the particular platform has. So just keep that in mind that it is, kind of impossible to perfectly line everything up. But I think I did a pretty good job. So some of the big changes here really come down to just like fidelity, and then of course the performance as in frame rate, and then density. So there are less NPCs, less things going on the Switch version of the game, but you still get the full sense of like geometry, the full scope. It's toned down and styled back. You get the global illumination, which is quite exciting to see that on the Switch, and you do get the benefit of taking the Nintendo Switch out on the go if you so choose. But I was saying, kind of the lighting here is quite interesting because this literally is the same save, same setup, same scenario, but you can tell that the Pro just does details a little bit better, like just literally on the floor and the world around you. And then, of course, there's just little differences for how certain scenes are lit for whatever reason of whatever is going on in the environment, which is kind of interesting and fascinating. So for the PlayStation 5 Pro, I've chosen to use the default kind of quality 60 FPS mode, as that is kind of the combination of the best of both worlds. You get the full resolution and the frame rate. It's using Pisser, so you get a dynamic 4K using a temporal scaling solution, which is of course Pisser, like I mentioned, and that's kind of what we're seeing. And then on the right with the Nintendo Switch 2, it is upscaled to 1080p at 30 FPS, and it's 600p-ish internal. Of course, we got lots of resolution scaling going on, lots of little cheat ways to get to higher resolution outputs in the modern era in order to achieve that. And it's just quite interesting because it is very visible the difference in fidelity and quality for, say, vegetation or the ground or the world around you. And it's definitely like a softer image on the Switch 2, but again, the fact that you can take this out on the go, the fact that you're getting the full game, it's honestly pretty impressive. It genuinely is. Now, of course, it would be more impressive if they were able to hit, 60 FPS like you can with the PlayStation 5 Pro on top of getting all the other features. But, it's stable, it runs smoothly, it looks relatively good. It's good enough, and I think that in itself is rather exciting to see. So I say this is a pretty interesting comparison. High-end visual fidelity versus a console that you can take out on the go. The pluses, the minuses. I hope you found this helpful. I'll leave you some non-commentary gameplay. Again, liking the video is great. Subscribing is great as well.
to us.
Oh, my mistake.